Okay, so we've got about 15 or 20 minutes, and let's talk Super Bowl. Just want to give people like 30 seconds to come in or so. How did you enjoy the Super Bowl? How did you watch it?
We went to a friend's house that was really far away. So I watched the first half there and halftime, and then drove home during the third quarter and watched the fourth quarter at home.
Wow.
So I missed the third quarter was when all the 3 and outs happened. So I missed the perfect part, I guess.
Yeah, you did. Did you like listen to it on the radio or anything while you're no? Okay.
NBC didn't have any. I couldn't access NBC radio.
Oh man, were you zooming home?
I was zooming home. It was literally it's a 45-minute drive, and I was not thrilled. I saw the 75-yard touchdown. We left right after that.
Okay. All right, so let's start there. All right. So what's up, guys? Thanks for coming in. We're going to spend about 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to have a hard stop at 1 p.m. Central here. So let's talk Super Bowl for a little bit here. All right, so after that 75-yard T. Higgins pass with the arguable OPI on Ramsey, what was your sense of the game at that time? I think that put the Bengals up 17-13.
Yeah. Well, where did you watch it from first?
I watched it from living room without Christina, who doesn't subject herself to these games because she gets too fired up, but with Stiff Arm Wax and with my dad. And my uncle was on a Zoom call. So we all watched, the 4 of us watched it pretty intently.
Nice. My thought was like the Bengals were pretty much in control and the Rams offense couldn't do much without Beckham, and they were kind of just stuck in the mud. But you could definitely sense the final few minutes were getting really pressure packed, and it was going to come down to, who didn't make the mistake or who came up big. And yeah, it just felt like a good game, like a tight, close game that was going to come down at the end.
Now, where do you rank this Super Bowl in terms of all the playoff games that we saw so far? So we had that Chiefs-Bills game. We had that Bucks-Rams game that almost was another epic Brady comeback. Where does this game sit in the 2021 NFL season playoffs? Like, where do you rank it?
I don't know, probably like somewhere in the middle. It felt like a pretty normal football game. Like there wasn't anything wildly dramatic, or there wasn't, it wasn't totally chalk. So I don't know, it just felt kind of normal to me. Probably like, definitely the Bucks-Rams game was better. The Bills game was definitely better. I thought the Packers-Niners game was more entertaining. The Cowboys-Niners game was better. The Rams-Niners game was better with the comeback in the fourth. I don't know. I'd say it was about average, but still exciting.
All right, let's talk about play calling for a second, okay? So I have the stats pulled up. Cam Akers rushed 13 times for 21 yards. 13 times for 21 yards, and he had an 8-yard rush. So if you take that away, there was 12 rushes for 12 yards. Henderson, 4 rushes for 7 yards. Sony Michel, 2 rushes for 2 yards. So why did Sean McVay keep running the ball? Why was it so infuriating watching this Rams team go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 6 over and over and over again? Can we just vent about that for a second? What the hell was going on there?
I don't know, man. I guess, the thought is like to try to keep them honest or whatever, try to keep them on their toes a little bit. But yeah, like at the end of the game, it was like, please stop doing this. It's not working. And the last drive, they didn't run at all. Basically, it didn't work. So,
and it worked. And, let's talk about the last drive too, because I just want to get our takes out of the way, and then we'll talk hobby and how this impacts the hobby. So that final drive for the Rams, Cooper Kupp, the only viable receiver on the field. Otherwise, a third-string tight end, Van Jefferson, who's clearly distracted, and the non-Kupp other receiver. Why were they not going to Kupp earlier in the game? Why is Kupp getting double and triple teamed and still able to find pockets and get open? Just react to that final drive for us.
Yeah, the final drive was like what they should have been doing the whole game, just force feeding Kupp and like trying to scheme him, and they had him run like the wide receiver sweep run play on 4th down. That was like the biggest play of the game probably. And then did you see the no look pass?
I didn't see it at the time, but then I heard them talking about it afterwards. Kupp was referencing the no-look pass after. He says Stafford was like, looking up to the third row, but Kupp was like, this ball might actually be coming to me.
Yeah, I've seen the breakdown. He's looking at a curl route that's like right in front of him for an easy like 4 or 5 yards, but then he's looking at it and then he sort of like throws it a little bit off to the left, and Kupp like breaks in behind the safety for a big gain. It was that big throw on that drive. Um, yeah, I mean I don't know why I don't know, they try to get cute and like try to spread it around and like play this like offensive scheme game and make McVay look smart, but then it was like, all right, time for Stafford and Kupp to win this game.
And so they marched down the field. They got the touchdown. What do you think about those penalty calls? Finally, the flag finally flying once the Rams got into goal to go territory. Like the receivers were getting there. There was a lot of contact on pass plays all game, but they didn't start throwing the flags until right there. What do you think about that?
I didn't like the one, the critical one on, I think it was 3rd and goal. That was the big one. I didn't like the call, but I mean, he is technically holding, but and then the other thing I've seen on TV is like, oh, it was a makeup call, for the 75-yard missed call. And I didn't even think that Ramsey one was that bad either. I would have been fine if they didn't call either of those, which obviously would have benefited the Bengals. And who knows what would have happened on 4th and goal, but didn't love it. That's kind of how it goes, though.
Yeah. All right. So the Rams go down the field. Cooper Kupp is just remarkable. I think 2 reasons why Kupp got the MVP nod. One of them converting that 4th down handoff play, but then the other one was like the go ahead touchdown was just they had Kupp in a 1-on-1 matchup, and just Stafford just threw the ball in his direction. That's all he had to do. He just had to throw the ball in his direction. Let's MVP talk for a second. Kupp got Super Bowl MVP. Aaron Donald had a case for Super Bowl MVP. Matt Stafford had a case for Super Bowl MVP. So let's talk about the Donald case for a second, especially that last drive. Okay, so the Bengals are moving the ball. They get about to midfield, 3rd and 1. Donald stops Ryan, who's in because Mixon has an ankle injury. Talk to me. React for us to that last Bengals drive and Sam Donald. I mean, and Aaron Donald, not Sam.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know if it's mine or his.
All right, I can hear you, but it's like going in and out. All right, there we go. Yeah, look at this play from the Bengals offensive line. Hold on real quick. Live shot of the Bengals offensive line. No, I think the last drive was fine. Like, they had the big play to Chase. I thought they were moving pretty well, and they were obviously getting in range to Money McPherson, who was just going to drill a 60-yarder. But Donald just was like, this is the time where I just win it by myself, Like, you've seen the replay of him grabbing Ryan?
Yeah. Yeah,
and
he pulled him back.
He just pulled him back. Like, with a guy on him, just his bare hands, pulls a 200-plus pound running back just backwards. I was like, wow. And then the next play, it reminded me a lot of that Niners play where it was a little bit frantic. It was 4th and 1. Like, there was a lot of nerves going, and Donald got single coverage and just beat him super fast and got to him and basically like won the game by himself in that last play. But I thought Von Miller was getting a lot of pressure on that drive too. He was getting really close a couple times and beating his guy. So they were always forced to like put someone on Von Miller to back him up, like the running back. So then Donald ended up getting single coverage and just won the game.
Yeah, he did. Did you think Joe Burrow was going to do it there when he got the ball up to midfield? Still about 45 seconds left or so. What was your sense of the game at that moment?
No, he hadn't really played well at all the whole game, to be honest. Like, he hit the 75-yarder, which, and then he had that one big pass to Chase, which was like, to me, more of Chase just making a play. But he just didn't really, he was never in rhythm that whole game. So I didn't. There's games when you're watching like Brady in the Super Bowl where you're like, he's just going to drive down the field, because the whole game he had just been building up to it and he'd been picking guys apart, and it was just like, this final drive is going to – but I didn't feel that way about Burrow. I mean, I don't know. What did you?
I was like I could see it going either way. But, dude, I do think that, like, when you have 3rd and 1 and you're at you're at midfield, and you only really need to get to like the 35, and you don't do it. 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1.
It was 2nd and 1.
2nd and 1. I mean, to me, that's a failure. That's really, really bad. And I don't know whose feet to lay it at exactly. But look, Burrow got sacked 7 times. That's tied for the most ever in a Super Bowl. He may as well have been sacked, where he just kind of threw the ball. Do you think P. Ryan should have dove for that ball? Ugh.
I don't know why they just didn't put Mixon in. It's like you've had Mixon, the number 2 rusher, all year in the NFL, and this is it. This is like the final drive of the season. I don't understand why you wouldn't at least. I know he's like, P. Ryan's their short yardage back, but I mean, it's money time. The Rams just showed you when it's money time on the big drive, you don't go to your backups. You go to Kupp over and over and over, and you'll win. And the Bengals didn't do that, so.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk MVP for a second here. Do you like the choice of Cooper Kupp? Would you have liked to see Donald or Stafford win? What do you think about the Super Bowl MVP?
Well, I still think Kupp should have won regular season MVP if you're asking me that. But so it was kind of nice to see him get the redemption. And like I said, I think the final drive was just completely predicated on Kupp going and winning the game. And he had 2 touchdowns, 2 of the 3 passing touchdowns. Stafford threw 2 picks, I believe. So I think Kupp deserves it over Stafford. It really just comes down to Donald. And Donald didn't have that game where it was like he just like completely dominated the whole game. He had good stretches, but Kupp was just the Kupp drive to me was more important than Donald, but it's close.
Yeah, definitely was close. Okay, so let's talk about the performances for like a minute here, Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow. So real quick here, Stafford 26 of 40, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, quarterback rating of 61, which is okay. The best quarterback ratings over the course of the season this year were about 69 to 70. So like 61 is just like a modest, pretty good performance. Burrow was 22 at 33, 263 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, but sacked 7 times for 43 yards. His quarterback rating was only 40. Okay, but if you go to passer rating, which is where Burrow has shined all year, his passer rating was 101. So which is decent, whereas Stafford's passer rating was 90. Passer rating does not take into account rushing, so it doesn't kill Burrow because of the sacks. But did either quarterback really do anything spectacular in this game? Like, what do we take away from these quarterbacks' Super Bowl performances?
No, I think they were both decent. It wasn't like any memorable quarterback performances, and I think Burrow hung in the pocket too long. Like I don't know if they couldn't find receivers or he just couldn't find his guy or whatever, but it seemed like there were a lot of plays that him holding it too long was the reason for the sack and not necessarily the line. But both quarterbacks were under pressure a lot. The defenses were solid. I don't know. It honestly felt like quite a bit of nerves as well. Like just watching that like pregame and stuff, the buildup was like so incredible to watch how distracting it was. Like The Rock standing on the field, doing his thing while you're ready for the Super Bowl. It's a tough environment, but I thought they played okay.
Okay. So the odds for next year's title from my sportsbook, Bills are the favorites, plus 800. Then you have Chiefs plus 900. You have Rams plus 1,100. Those are the top 3. Then Packers are 4th at plus 1,300, tied with the Niners at plus 1,300. And the Bengals aren't even there until 6th at plus 1,400. So
Yeah.
What are we taking away from the books here? Was this a flukish year for the Bengals? Or, because my take was like, dude, the Bengals hung in there 4 straight playoff rounds with 4 excellent teams. So to me, the Bengals are legit. But the sports books don't give them a ton of credit. What do you think? What's your synopsis of the Bengals going into next season based on what they did this year?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to question if they're legit. It's just that, like, there's a bunch of other teams that are also really good that, if you were to, like, replay these playoffs, would you pick the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl again?
No way.
So, like, the odds kind of make sense to me if you're talking just straight odds. It's just pretty difficult to win 3 games like they did. I still think the Bills are the best team in the league. I saw enough from the Bills. I still think that they could have won the Super Bowl just as easily. I wouldn't have been shocked. Those sound about right to me.
Okay.
I don't know about the Packers though. Packers just seem like how many times you gotta lose those games, you know?
Who wants to take that plus 1,300 on the Packers? Nobody. You don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Who
Yeah.
is taking that? Okay. All right. So let's talk with the last 5 minutes. Let's talk hobby. So look, Joe Burrow mania was full blown. All right. Just talk about Joe Burrow
What
mania.
happened last night?
Well,
Tell us about what happened with the sales last night for those two guys.
all right. I'll tell you about a sale that happened last night. This happened on PWCC Weekly, all right, and it was the top headline in Card Ladder's newsfeed. This was the top headline that went out in the email to the pro members. So it was this card right here. This is the PSA 9, which is a Pop 3. Joe Burrow, National Treasures RPA. This is not the exact copy that sold. This is a generic copy. A copy of this card sold on PWCC Weekly for $84,000 last night. This is a 9 auto 10 with a nice 3-color patch. This sold for $84,000 last night. It's an all-time high for a Burrow RPA in the grade of 9. All right, all-time high Burrow price right there from the Card Ladder feed. So look, Burrow cards, sold for, and that auction ended after the Super Bowl. So Burrow cards went crazy last night. His market is still like it's as strong as it's ever been. So look, there was so much Burrow mania in the hobby. The hobby just loves winning. I just don't know any other way to dumb it down. The hobby just gets so excited about winning. So what's Joe Burrow's hobby demand like throughout this offseason going into next season? What do you think?
Well, it's definitely going to come back, right? It's not going to keep going up, or it's not going to maintain this craziness. And I've already seen a bunch of jokes about all the returns that are coming on the Burrow cards and stuff. So you'll probably have to keep an eye on stuff like that. I mean, what else is there for him to accomplish up until next season, right? I guess there's the argument that the Trae Young effect, when you don't play, your prices go up, but he'll probably take a dip to cool off from everything, and then I'm sure he'll have a lot of hype going into next year, and we'll forget that he lost and get excited again.
Is Joe Burrow, from the hobby's point of view, is he the best young quarterback? And if not, where does he rank?
No, I don't think so. I think it's still Mahomes, Josh Allen, and then him, Herbert, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, some ranking there. I mean, you can make a strong case for him being the third. I still think Allen and Mahomes are better. That game. What did Allen have? I think Allen had more touchdowns in 2 games than Burrow had in 4, right?
About twice as many.
Yeah, he had 10 touchdowns. It's 10 touchdowns in 2 games, and I would, if I was a Bills fan, Allen to me is still man, he's so good. Allen is. I would definitely rather have Allen over Burrow, but we're deciding between a bunch of really good young players. I don't think any of these teams need to be worried.
What about Matt Stafford? Matt Stafford now has the Super Bowl. I believe I heard a statistic last night on the broadcast that said he has the most game-winning drives since he came into the league in 2009. Matt Stafford has just shy of 50,000 passing yards. He will get to 50,000. The other 8 quarterbacks who have 50,000 passing yards and a Super Bowl win are all in the Hall of Fame. So what is the arc of Matt Stafford's career from here on out with the Super Bowl victory in hand?
I think he's a lock for the Hall of Fame at this point. He basically has all the accolades you need as a regular season quarterback, and now he's got the ring. And I think people are going to give him, at this point, he basically gets a pass for 13 years of not winning with the Lions after you get one year with a good team. Rodgers gets 12 years with a good team and he wins 1 ring. Stafford gets 1 year and he wins a ring. I saw that comparison this morning. I thought it was interesting. Yeah, I mean, he's not better than Rodgers, but he's got a pretty nice looking resume right now. I don't think there's much hobby wise. What do you think? What happened last night? What do you think the hobby future is for him?
I don't think the Super Bowl gave any extra excitement for Burrow, although I think Burrow is going to have a really strong market for a while because people are really high on him. Stafford, I think Stafford becomes a really interesting guy that maybe it's worth picking up a really nice card of his, just because he now he has as many Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers does. His statistics, come into an entirely different light. If he's quarterbacking a good team for the next 5 years of his career, which is a big if, then I don't know, dude. He seems like he's in good company. But then again, so is Eli Manning, so is Ben Roethlisberger, so is Drew Brees. Does the hobby care? My last take before we get out of here is that last night was a victory for the non-quarterbacks in the hobby. Cooper Kupp sneaks in and wins that MVP. Aaron Donald is just amazing and really kind of has the game-winning, the LeBron chase down block. Aaron Donald has it in the form of the stopping the 3rd and 1 and the 4th and 1. OBJ, we see how important he was to the Rams offense. Big plays from T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and Joe Mixon was really good too. I just thought it was a great spotlight of the non-quarterback position last night. And look, in the hobby, these guys are so cheap. Joe Mixon's National Treasures Platinum Rookie Shield 1 of 1 sold for $4,000 a week before the Super Bowl. $4,000. So cool. You can have so much fun collecting amazing cards of skills position players who turn out to be really fun to watch in big games.
That's a great way to end it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to the halftime show. I actually enjoyed it for once. I saw a meme that was like, if you were born from 1985 to 1995, you were watching that and thinking, finally, people from my era that aren't for these old people, and then you're like, wait, am I old now? Is this are they doing the flashback for me and I'm the old person now?
We are the old person.
This is our Bruce Springsteen.
Dude, I heard, Josh, you'll love this. I heard that, younger, people in their early 20s and below are now calling anyone born before 2000 people from the 1900s.
All right. Great, quick little Super Bowl recap. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. Can't wait to see what the hobby has in store for football cards in the offseason. We'll talk to you guys later.
Card Ladder, the best sports card app on the market. The future of sports cards is here. Card Ladder is the 21st century price guide and market analysis tool for sports cards. The best tools to help you track your cards. Watch the trends, stay informed, compare cards, and track the growth of your personal collection, all in one simple and intuitive platform. Join the innovators, not the imitators. The future is here. The future is now. Card Ladder.